So like Nate said, the very first MMT, the very Art of M.A.T came out in January of 2017. And whatever day it was, the very next day I sent Art of M.A.T back in the mail. So I got my MMT, like I was so waiting for that last class to come out. I just wanted to finish it and get the MMT. And by that time, back then you did not have to have an MMT to be a teaching assistant. So I had been a teaching assistant for Paul Kelly quite a bit back then. Anywhere I went. So if I was in New York, I would go to Baltimore or Boston, or if I was down in Florida, I would go to West Palm Beach, and then Eric in Oklahoma, and Nick Kress. I took the class from Nick Kress and Dave Klinger. I was a teaching assistant for him. So I was just really just totally ready to jump in and teach. It would have been my wildest dream, but never would I have imagined that in 2019 Eric would have asked. I mean, I wanted to do it terribly, but I never thought that they would have asked. And so,
you'd been watching you the whole time to work out whether you are in a circle.
Eric was in a lot of those classes. So yes. So like when Paul would teach, Eric was there a lot. So I worked hand in hand with the both of them quite a bit back then. So it was quite an honor.
Yeah, I can only imagine, because looking at the stuff from Paul, it's pretty amazing too. Big classes versus small classes. What's your thoughts on, like, we have, since COVID and since people are getting busier and busier, it's harder to get big numbers in Australia. I don't know what you guys are getting over there. But you were saying, Nate was saying before, like, 12 or 15. Tammy, what's that feeling like? Is it hard to hide, or is it better to, like, I know energy is better with big numbers, but you miss people.
Yeah, well, we were in Nate, it was 2020 and 2021, and you could have probably shot a cannon off in the events that Nate and I did, and Eric stopped teaching, and all of the fabulous educators that we have learned from, they all stopped teaching. And Nate, you and I were teaching. And I think it was a blessing because we got our jitters out, and we were able to we had to start with 10 people in New York because New York wouldn't allow more than 10 people. And then Florida was different. Florida didn't care. But I cared, like if it was still 6 foot apart. So then I would just get a big ballroom where I work at Hammock Beach. That was the biggest in 2020, that was the biggest ballroom I had then. 2021 is when I started with Orlando, and I started getting very large ballrooms. I like both classes. I like the small classes because there's certain people that will only come if you're in a small class. And so I think we need to offer both for whoever wants whatever class. But I like it because it's intimate and you have a lot of time on your hands. So there's no one that's rushed. But also I absolutely love my Orlando classes, or the AMC that we just had this weekend. We had 58 people just this weekend at the AMC for Eric's tribute. The most I've had is at the World Massage Festival. I think there was 88, 65 in Orlando, 68 in Orlando, something like that. But I don't know. It's like having children. Once you have 2 children, you can't go to the bathroom by yourself anymore. So the hard thing is crowd control, like keeping everybody's whispers down so it's not a loud roar.